Rachel, Ross, Monica, Chandler, Joey and Phoebe, you've guessed it right, all back together at Apartment 20 and Central Perk.
The Friends reunion premiered earlier today on HBO Go at 3 p.m. in Singapore. And could we be more excited?
Let's bring in journalist Jan Lee, who has seen the reunion episode and is here to share more about it. But no spoilers, please, Jan. Fans were rather disappointed that the reunion was more of a chat show, games, etc., rather than a special episode checking in on the characters nearly 20 years on. Your thoughts on this, Jan? Did the format end up working?
So because right from the beginning when it was announced, it was always announced as an unscripted special. So I didn't really feel disappointed in the sense that I didn't expect it to be anything else. So it was always going to be, them reminiscing about their time on the show, which I guess some people felt like, then what's the point? They wanted to see a story. But for me, I sort of understood, and there's a part of me that doesn't really want to see them now. Like, I don't really want to see the characters now, because there's a part of me that's like, it ended on a very nice note and let's just leave it as that, and if you start it up, you're gonna have to have new storylines, you're gonna have to have conflicts, and the producers always said, Friends is about that time in your life when you're friends with your family. And at the end of the show, all of the friends, at least most of them, started to have their own families with kids, with partners and spouses. So I can understand why they didn't come back for a scripted special. I think the special this time around, the format kind of works. There are definitely, I definitely cried. Like, as a fan who grew up watching the show, and it's, it's my comfort show. It's the kind of show that you can put on when you're eating dinner and you just need something to watch. So that's great. But there were definitely parts where I cried as a fan. There were definitely parts that were very, very touching. There were parts that I learned new things about the show that I didn't know about before. There were clips that I've never seen before, which is quite surprising because I feel like I've seen a lot of clips. But in any case, those parts really worked. There were a lot of guest stars, which sometimes I think took attention away from the main cast of Friends, right? And the executive producers, Kevin Bright, Martha Kaufman, David Crane, who really had the most interesting anecdotes and stories. But I understand why they wanted to bring in more people to sort of show you like the impact that Friends has had on people. There was like BTS coming in, there was like Kit Harington. But there were definitely parts where I was like, this celebrity does not need to be here right now. I don't know why they're here, so.
Well, the reunion has been promoted heavily. So did it live up to, all the hype?
I think it really depends on how hyped up you were about it. I mean, I had my expectations kind of very tempered by the fact that it was unscripted. So I didn't really expect anything, to come out of it that was like, oh, we're doing a new episode, a new story. I didn't expect any big announcements. I just kind of sort of wanted to see them together in the same space and get together and talk about their time, which is exactly what they did. So that was quite fun. There were some games that, I think if you're a fan, you might find it quite interesting. There were also a lot of anecdotes about behind the scenes filming that I think a lot of fans would find quite satisfying to listen to. But if you're looking for big announcements or like something, breaking news, there's no breaking news here. There's something that I think will be in the headlines tomorrow. I won't spoil it, but it's not really breaking news. It's just sort of like, oh, I didn't know that happened. That's interesting. That's about it really. And I think if you are a fan who's watched the show a long time and has been with you a long time, of course you will be happy to watch them get back together in the same space. Just watching them go into the set itself is quite touching because they actually recreated the set, like the Monica's apartment, Central Perk, Chandler and Joey's apartment. So it is quite touching to see them back there and walking through the space that they walked. And you can tell the cast themselves, they were very, very touched. And I think just that touch of nostalgia is what we all want.
Well, thanks very much, Jan. If you're a fan, remember you can watch the Friends reunion special on HBO Go.
Save the elderly hawkers, where to tapao? Well, you may have come across these social media accounts encouraging people to buy from hawker stalls amid this round of tighter measures.
How useful have they been? Let's find out from food correspondent Eunice Quek. So Eunice, have you been able to see the effects yet of these initiatives? Have they managed to translate to tangible sales for these hawker stalls?
So I was chatting with some of the hawkers earlier today, and they did seem to be at least aware of what was going on. They knew that young people were kind of helping to post on social media and all that. But honestly, as to how much it actually translates into tangible sales, I think that is still a bit hard to tell, because they do know that people are still cautious about going out, and the hawker centers in the CBD have been quite hard hit and are quieter than usual, that's for sure. However, one of the hawkers that I spoke to today at Amoy Street Food Centre, he did say that last year's circuit breaker was worse meaning that because basically people were not coming out at all, so he could only sell maybe up to like 50 cups of drinks in a day, whereas now he said that he can do maybe about 100 cups. Obviously not great, not what it used to be, but at least better than last year.
There's a risk that as the pandemic drags on, it'll further erode our hawker culture. Eunice, how likely is that, and what more can be done to help our hawkers and the hawker ecosystem itself?
Well, I certainly hope that that is not going to happen anytime soon. But when I was walking through some of the hawker centers just now, I was in the CBD area, you do see quite a number of shuttered stalls. So when I was talking to some of the hawkers, they were saying that it is a mix of some of hawkers that are taking this month to kind of take a break. Some of them are also uncertain as to whether they will return, and that is really depending on how the pandemic situation evolves. So if this really does drag on, you could see some retiring earlier than they planned to, because they are already in their 60s, 70s. And it may also, I hope not, but the younger ones might also think carefully about joining the industry. To help them, obviously, things like rental waivers, subsidies would definitely go a long way. And of course, all the help on social media can help to boost support. And I mean, personally, for all of us, if you are working at home, you can, take away from the coffee shop hawker near you, the hawker centers nearby. If you have the means to, you can do a quick run to the CBD if it is convenient. And I think what also helps a lot is that if you are going out to buy a meal, a chicken rice, something along those lines, maybe try and add on, a curry puff, a drink or two, maybe some desserts, because these are the cheaper items in a sense that are unlikely to be on delivery platforms. And, you're not going to pay like $1 for someone to deliver. You're not going to pay a delivery fee for $1, a $1 kopi, for example, right? So if you are already going out, try and add on a little bit here and there to support as many hawkers as you can.
Great points there. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Eunice. That was food correspondent Eunice Quek. Look out for her story on this in the Sunday Times.
Well, Life has also brought back its stay-home guide to get you through this period of heightened alert, and you can read it on Mondays to Thursdays.